We're your hosts, the one-liners. Dub Zoro.
Hey, yo, you feel me?
Monkey-D.Bubba.
Monkey.D.Bubba on the ones and twos.
All right, so today, man, today's discussion is really going to be talking about the big three and the hype that surrounds the big three. So before we even get into the big three, who they are, what they are, how you get it, let's just talk about, what it truly means to be the big three and how that name even came about. So first of all these new, big three, the new big three and all this stuff is not real. It's not true. Okay. When it comes to big three, there's only three actual anime shows, mangas that we affiliate the big three with. That's One Piece, that's Naruto, and that's Bleach. Those three are called the big three because at that point in time, when they all came out, still around the same timeline, manga and TV show, all of them were popular amongst the Japan, because obviously that's where it starts, and then led over to us in the Western civilization. So it's just those three animes that really are the big three. All right, so of course the big three shows, usually consist of shonen jump shows, shonen jump mangas. Because when we talk about big three, a lot of people get hung up on the animation and, stuff like that. But when it gets down to it, the only thing that people are really concerned about when they start to categorize and label these anime shows as the big three is the manga sales. That's strictly what we're focused on when we get on that. So it's not about, popularity amongst the show or the animation. It is purely off the sales of the manga.
I'm glad that you brought that up because the fact that a lot of these big three, quote unquote, that they have nowadays is not what it should be. Let's go back to the early big three. Would probably consist of Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin, and Dragonball. Let's go back and look at some of their manga sales. Manga sales from Yu Yu Hakusho from 1990 to 94 were 50 million. 94 to 99, that's Rurouni Kenshin, 72 million. That's as of 2019, I might say. And all these sales are in Japan. And Dragon Ball, this is just Dragon Ball Z, 160 million that was circulating, that was just in Japan. And this was in the early big three. And let's get into the original big three that you were saying. Let's look at some of their manga sales. Bleach, 90 million. That's crazy. Naruto, huge Naruto fans on this page in this channel. 220 million. And then One Piece, I read this and looked at this number and started laughing. 470 million copies sold today. This is the third highest comic under Superman and Batman. Superman and Batman have been around since the 40s and 30s, we might say.
30s and 40s, so it's amongst good competition.
That should tell you something if we're talking about Superman and Batman.
Right.
Everybody knows Superman and Batman.
Right.
And then, I will say, I looked at some of the numbers for the new big three, and I will say Demon Slayer, they are killing with 100 million copies. My Hero Academia with 24 million copies, and Black Clover with 10 million copies.
So is this amongst all together sales or just specifically within this last year?
All these are as of 2019 strictly in Japan sales, but this is, I could be wrong, but this is just the calculations that I came up with my own
research.
Right.
No, because I roughly got the same thing for Demon Slayer. I got 82.3 from November 2019 to November 2020, but as of December of last week, I want to say Demon Slayer finally pushed over the 100 million mark for sales for manga, which is crazy. It was a crazy feat, no doubt. I'm not trying to take away anything from Demon Slayer. We'll get into that later on in today's segment, but that 100 million sales,
that is
a year, bro,
crazy. In a year, that's crazy.
Hey, look, hats off.
Yo,
hats off. Because that's a crazy feat.
Just off numbers alone, that should tell you that we are in the cut. That is the cusp of. That is probably the number one of the big three that's coming on, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, if we sticking strictly on the standard of how you get the label of big three is by the Shonen Jump editor magazine editors, counting up these sales and stuff, then yes. I mean, they're leading the new era of the new big three,
Bro,
as we speak.
100 million.
And look, somebody had to do it. It was going to be, you should have known with the hype around surrounded by them is going to be crazy for the show. So it's going to lead to the manga as well.
So let me ask you this. This should help us lead us into our next segment. Do numbers equal great manga?
In my opinion, no. I don't feel that way. So with not just myself, because I like to look at the whole picture, manga sales and how the show is doing. The standard for the big three is strictly off of manga sales alone. Which is fine because I mean that's the standard that they brought, right?
Right.
But with today's society of anime watchers, and I'm not talking about the OGs, 30 years and up, people that's pushing 27, 28, 29
Can
and
we
up.
can we say the OGs that's been around and watching anime on HBO and Stars when it used to come out like at 10, 11 o'clock at night? You had to like be up with your grandma watching it. And if
Right.
she was
In
lucky
order,
enough,
yeah, you to run
that's
into
the OGs we talking about.
exactly the ones that started off with Sailor Moon, you know what I'm
Sailor
saying?
Moon, yes, we didn't look at it like yo,
And
that's just a
Gundams,
girl.
those are the OGs that we're speaking of when we talk about the OGs, but the narrative around today's big three is not so much about the manga sales, it's about, the show itself, which is fine and dandy, but it's like when it comes to that, man, and you want to really focus on, or you want to start labeling these shows to be the big three or the next big thing or whatever, there's three categories that the show needs to fulfill. And that's the character development, having a good storyline, right? And the animation, because nobody wants to look at, you know, if we're in 2020, let the animation show be, show that it was made in 2020 and not the 1930s. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Because
right.
unless you're shooting for that type style, that type vibe to give off to the public, don't shoot for it because there's no way you're trying to have high action, filming with 1920, animation skills. So
Yes.
with those three categories in mind, let's go ahead and dive into, what the world or the anime groups, the anime heads labeled as the legendary big three. So when we
I
say legendary three, go ahead.
I will say that with the legendary big three, a lot of their from their storytelling, the animation, and the character development, their MC, their main character has to be able to drive the whole thing. And looking at the legendary ones, you got some great characters. Yusuke Urameshi, man,
Top
his
notch.
top notch. Even to this day, he's top five anime.
Mm-hmm.
But him as a main character, he's arrogant. He's kind of an anti-hero. He's funny, strong willpower, but he has a lot of redeeming qualities to him.
Mm-hmm.
Kenshin Himura, he has a very dark past. You learn about his past, and then his past conflicts with his past reflects his future. So that means anything that he did in the past is going to come back to him and kind of haunt him. He's going to like kind of pay for his sins.
Right.
And then Goku, like bro, who doesn't love Goku? Like that's
Right. Yeah.
that's self-explanatory. Like
Right.
he's a lovable airhead. He's funny, strong-willed. Like we all grew up with Goku. So a lot of these main characters drive these animes that we have nowadays,
Right.
and that should help us with the storytelling because if the story of the main character isn't coming across as good, I'm not gonna watch it.
Right, right, yeah, right, yeah. If the show is, especially if the show is named after you, or it's surrounded by you, and it's easy to tell that you are the center of the show. The main character is going to have to be able to carry the show. That's just
It's
point
a
blank period.
must.
If you're the main character, but more people are gravitating to some of the side characters, we have an issue with, one of the stats, character development, which we're looking at.
That can honestly hurt. That I'll save that point for one of the next segments that we have down the road. But continue.
Okay, so like you said, so with Yusuke Urameshi and the Yu Yu Hakusho show, the character development for each character, the main and the side characters was amazing. And you always got a good introduction for each character going on. Hiei,
great. Hiei is still top 10 like side characters of all time.
Right. And his character development is, you've seen it. He starts off evil, rotten to the core, to being on Yusuke's side, being that friend, but I ain't really gonna call you my friend, but basically I'm not gonna
you like that, but you cool.
Exactly. To now he's a protector of his little sister. I mean,
full circle, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's definitely different. Kurama is the same way, but he's always been a pure-hearted individual, towards.
You got Kurama on the same spectrum as Hiei, but just on a different. Like, so many redeeming qualities with Kurama. Because at first, I'm not gonna lie,
right?
I hate guts. It's just like, man, what's that red hair, furry little stupid sword? And then he went into the tournament. I was like,
crazy.
Really went crazy.
Right, and obviously, when we talk about the characters, we cannot forget about Kuwabara. Bro, to me, he was the Usopp of the Yu Yu Hakusho show.
This nigga spitting.
Easily, bro. He cried a lot, often, he complained so much, but, like Usopp did, post time skip, he hit that switch, and Kuwabara was, definitely a character that Yusuke leaned on heavily, so, hats off to him, because that's just excellent character development. There was never a hiccup between those guys. Now, next topic is going to be, or the next category that we look at is the story. From the beginning to the end, I cannot say that the story has faltered in any way. Anyway to me, like you said, like Yusuke starts off as, and I'm a large fan of the Yu Yu Hakusho show. I got all the DVDs, I liked it so much that I gave it to a friend and then bought a whole nother copy for myself. Like, I love that show. That was Yu Yu Hakusho is the anime that honestly put me on. It was Yu Yu Hakusho, and then it was Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball, excuse me. But the story for Yusuke, like you said, starts off as an arrogant kid, troublemaker, in school and stuff. But he ends up dying in the first episode.
Bro.
Trying to save a little boy, So just from there, it's like, yo, main character dies off rip.
Bro, what? Okay,
so off the cusp, it automatically pulls you in. Not with no animation, but with the story. Yeah, because technically, to me, the story is more important than the anime, because the animation, can always change. Right. But the story, if you start off trash, you don't start off very strong, it's going to be hard for you to continue to keep grabbing those watchers as you continue to get better with the story. A lot of times, if you don't catch people within the first season, they're not going to come back to watch you.
You're not going to be able to carry that anime at all if you're not going to be able to grab them like that first couple episodes, bro.
Right. So with Yu Yu Hakusho, from start to finish, it was an excellent piece, excellently written. From the the storyline and the character development, there was always a meaning behind something in that story, or an event that happened within that story. And then obviously the last piece is going to be the animation, which is the first thing people are going to see when the show starts, because obviously it's there before the story, So for Yu Yu Hakusho and the animation, for it to be, in the 1980s, late 1990s, the animation wasn't terrible. You had the times where it was like Toguro and his 100% form. It's
a little rough, but I will say
I
dig it because like that's the anime that we grew on, so it kind of holds a special place in my heart. But looking at compared to the animation now, it's kind of rough, kind of rough. I'm not even gonna sit there and lie to you.
I am not gonna lie. So, but yeah, so that's Yu Yu Hakusho. Now you got Dragon Ball, and obviously we already know that Dragon Ball, that's your baby. So you can take that one.
Dragon Ball on its own. I've yet to meet somebody that said they've never seen Dragon Ball or heard of Dragon Ball. And that right there is just crazy to me because it's just like you got little girls, little boys, just everybody knowing about Dragon Ball. And everybody knows Goku. Goku is anime Superman. Yeah. I will say that. Yep. The character development behind Goku is crazy because you see him as you first ever meet Goku. He gets ran over and shot in the head by Bulma.
Oh, already, monster! Not quite! Holy cow! Whoa!
Bulma, and like you're just like, yo, what's up with this little monkey boy? He got a tail.
Right. It's something else that grabs you from the jump.
Yo, and it's just like Goku carries it because he's funny, he's lovable, he's an airhead, so it's just like anything that he gets into, it's gonna be funny, and you know he's gonna find his way out. Mm-hmm. The character development in Dragon Ball is, I will say, centrally behind Goku, but you have great characters like Vegeta. Great. Full circle behind from you first time you see him to the last time you see him in Dragon Ball Z. Gohan, you see him from being a scary little boy to killing Cell.
Yeah.
Great.
Being the strongest character in Dragon Ball Z at one point in time.
Yes.
You know, Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan.
Yeah, but
yeah, that's the topic on its own. Yeah, I already know how you feel about that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I will knock it dead.
I will say the storytelling behind it is because Dragon Ball is such a simple story to get behind that you can't really go wrong with it. Okay, I'm a fighting guy. It's about martial arts. I want to fight the next person who's strong. Okay, bet. Let's find him. Okay, after we beat him, who's the next person? Bet. It's always an adrenaline because it's always about fighting and throwing hands and seeing who Goku can fight the next person, and that's great because the storyline's so simple, straight line, streamline. Bam. The animation behind Dragon Ball in the 90s, even to now, I will say crazy. I'll put the Dragon Ball Z Broly movie in there with animation. I know it doesn't matter what a lot of people say, but I'm putting it in there. The animation behind that movie went, dumb. It went dumb.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
Like in a universe for like 3 seconds, and I was like, we seen Vegeta go super. We seen Vegeta get a little glimpse of that green, a little bit.
Of this. Yeah. That's what the animation is leading towards to nowadays. You know, because like we said, like, you know, in the 90s, it's always gonna be different. Technology is different, but now it's like, as you know, shows are progressing and continuing on. Even with One Piece, you know, you see that the animation is just, it keeps getting better and better. Yes. You know, the animation can always get better, but the storyline, you know, if you don't catch these within the first season, you already lost a couple thousand viewers. You know,
storyline has to be the skeleton of the show.
Right.
It has to be able to hold up without. Because if the story starts faltering and you're starting to get plot holes, you're going to be like, eh. Granted, Dragon Ball has that, but Dragon Ball's not really mainly on story. It's more of an overall great anime.
Right. Some would even say that Dragon Ball is the Michael Jordan of anime.
Bro, like, fact.
There's always going to be somebody trying to be compared to Goku, whether it's warranted or not. You know, there's all, well, can he beat Goku? Can he beat Goku? Can he beat MJ? Can he beat MJ? You know, it's like, and even if you have compelling facts to say that Goku could lose, we're not hearing it. You know, this is Goku. This is Jordan.
Goku.
You're not beating him.
Goku.
You're not beating.
Goku will just go Super Saiyan God on you, boy.
Yeah, it's like you're not.
It's like, yeah.
Oh, you're not beating Goku. You're not beating Goku. So with that, so we got
toxic, but that's for a video for another day.
right, because you already know toxic fanship, fan base is all across any anime, really. You know, but there's several that's the main ones when we get to toxicity, but we'll get to that. So with the last legendary, we got Rurouni Kenshin. Now, for me personally, that's one of the shows that was like I was so heavily invested in Yu Yu Hakusho and Dragon Ball that I didn't really pay attention to. So
I'll say that. I watched it, but I was more keen on Yu Yu Hakusho and Dragon Ball. But I will say I did watch it, and Kenshin Himura is a great main character because story behind him is crazy. And doing a little research, bro, I didn't know that Ichiro Oda worked on Rurouni Kenshin before he even started One Piece.
Really?
Yes, bro.
Okay.
So this makes sense why the storyline's so great, because you got people like that working behind there, and just the story of wandering swordsman working in the Edo era, getting his redemption alone is captivating enough for me to tune in as a little kid. And plus, who doesn't love swordsmen? And it's crazy. It's crazy.
This is true. This is true.
I had to drop this for y'all.